treating customers fairly. TCF. Nothing gets the industry or the regulator more wound up than TCF. The FCA think they invented it, and the industry think that they do this all the time, and neither is true. TCF is a foundation for how financial services work since 2006. And I'm going to take you through a quick tour of the history of TCF, where it is, where it's going, and what you have to do about it over the next couple of minutes. So where did it all begin? TCF started in July 2006 under the FSA, the Financial Services Authority. The same company as the FCA, just a name change. Okay, they issued a 64-page paper written here, and it's currently sitting in the archive, but believe you me, you shouldn't archive this one. You need to have read it at some stage, and it tells you under 6 particular outcomes what treating customers fairly actually means, and shows you how you have to show it to your customers. Do not take it lightly. The FCA dish out fines. If you go to fines for TCF, you'll find more Google results than you can shake a stick at. So why are they doing that? Because it's a rule, it's a principle. Under principles and PRIN 2.1, these are the key rules that the FCA basically fine companies on and find them at fault on. Forget the detailed structure, procedure, individual rules. Okay, firms very rarely fall foul of those and get fined nowadays. They almost invariably get nailed, to use a word, for principle failings. And TCF is one of those principles. And in fact, if you go to print 2 and go to fair as a word search, the TCF is embedded in a firm must pay due regards, so principle 6, to its customers and treat them fairly. In principle 7, you must treat customer, give them information in a way that's clear, fair, and not misleading. Okay, conflicts of interest, got to manage them fairly. Okay, it's all about treating your customers fairly. Now, in 2008, when the credit crunch came, 2009, 10, 11, a lot of people asked, where was the regulator? What was the FCA doing? And the answer is TCF. Okay, so it's not. It's just it's a fact. This is their own baby. This is their own creation. Okay, and it's critical that anybody, any practitioner in financial services today, at least studies TCF and understands where they sit in the regulatory arena and in the industry, and they've got to understand that underlying it all, you have to treat your customers fairly. And a really good example of this is a really common point put back by IFAs and mortgage brokers. Oh, but I told the client it's in the suitability report, so it must be okay. Disclosure does not override suitability, and treating your customers fairly is all about suitability, is all about what is right for the customer. It's not about, oh, I disclosed it in endless pages of documentation. It's about treating them fairly and making sure that they really understand it. And it's an intangible thing, which is good in some respects, but in other respects it's very dangerous, and you have to be able to demonstrate it to the regulator on a routine basis, and you have to embed it in your own firm. You don't hear a lot of regulatory talk about TCF at the moment. Why not? Because it's embedded, it's in your firm, and you're expected to have dealt with it. So, back a stage. There's 6 consumer outcomes. You remember that? The 6 intangibles about TCF. And here we go. These are they. Outcome 1. Consumers can be confident they're dealing with firms where the fair treatment of customers is central to the corporate culture. Now, this document is available on the exams. You can read it in your own time. You can read the individual outcomes. Nobody expects you to reel them off at the top of your head under interview with the FCA. Although individuals will get asked that question. But there's 6 outcomes, and it basically summarises what is fair. And the key is that you've got to show to the regulator that this is what you embed in your firm and this is what you do. And commonly they well, they always ask for this in the application pack. And you should have a TCF manual, which you refer to. There's one available. All firms at IFAC have one. There's one available on the document library if you want to adjust the one you already have, or you want to create another one, or you don't know where the one you've got is. But that's the 6 outcomes of TCF, and you need to understand them and have a sense of what TCF means in your firm. So, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, and good luck in the exam.